Okay, today I am making a recipe from my new ebook cookbook. Have you purchased it yet? It is available. The link is in my bio. It is a low glycemic cookbook, healthy for the holidays, savor the flavor, low glycemic recipes for the holidays. Anyway, it's not just traditional holiday foods. It also includes regular weeknight meals. It's 42 recipes. It's dinners. It's breakfast recipes, snacks, desserts, and even salads and salad dressings. So I hope you'll get it. So this recipe is cabbage and carrots and rice and lentils or nuts and seeds, depending on you and your blood sugar needs and your families as well. So I like to use raw carrots. Raw carrots don't spike blood sugar as much as cooked carrots. So I'm just going to shred them very finely. I'm going to shred the cabbage very finely. I want to focus on lots of nutrients, which you get from all the different phyto chemicals which come in our rainbow colored foods. So I have a strange shadow. I think it's this pot hanging over my head. So let me see if I can move it. There. So hopefully that helps. Okay. So maybe a little bit more light. It's getting really dark here. So the first thing I'm going to do is make my sauce. And so I like to just make it in a regular little measuring cup. And I love these cute little whisks. But you can make it in a small mason jar as well. I'm going to put a couple of teaspoons of coconut aminos. If you don't like coconut aminos, you could use some stevia or whatever natural sweetener you like. If you're not familiar with coconut aminos, it tastes a lot like a teriyaki sauce. So I love it. It's gluten-free. I mean, it doesn't spike my blood sugar, but make sure you test that on yourself. So I have some cocoa aminos. I'm going to add the juice of a lime, very high in vitamin C. It also has nutrients in it that are wonderful for detoxification, for helping with liver health, which is so important. We're exposed to so many toxins in this day and age. So I'm going to be adding that as well as the delicious flavor, right? And so this is going to have kind of an Asian flavor. I'm going to throw that in. This is my compost pile over here. Add the other half. This lime is really firm. Smells really good too. Okay. And then I'm just going to grate some ginger. So move that out of my way. And this out of my way so that you can see. So I just have some ginger root here. Now mine is organic, so I leave the peel on. You could always use just a spoon or a potato peeler to peel it. You can store it in the freezer if you're not going to use it right away and grate it right out of the freezer while it's still nice and hard. It grates very easily. This one was in the refrigerator. So I'm going to get about a tablespoon. Or you could, some people use an inch, and so they would just pick up an inch of ginger and shred it. Just don't shred your thumb. All right. And so now I'm just going to knock that into my measuring cup. Smells so good. Ginger is a wonderful anti-inflammatory. We hear so much about turmeric or curcumin, which comes from turmeric. But ginger is highly anti-inflammatory as well. It's wonderful for any kind of GI distress. It's a wonderful herb and a wonderful food. So there is our sauce to put on top of our dinner. I have brown rice cooking behind me. You can see there's 12 minutes left on my brown rice. I just soaked it for several hours, rinsed and drained, and I cook it in a 2 to 1. So I had a half a cup of rice that I cooked in 2 cups of water. That's it. I didn't even add any salt to it. Now, if you're worried about blood sugar and brown rice spikes your blood, use cauliflower rice. That would be perfectly fine. So the next thing I want to get started are my mushrooms. And so I always cook mushrooms. I never eat raw mushrooms. I'm going to add just a little bit of water to my pan here and spread it out as it gets nice and hot. And then I'm going to prepare my mushrooms. And so all I do is I cut off a little bit of the stem. I'm just going to trim off the hard part where they had cut it when they harvested it. And then I usually cut, if I have button mushrooms like this, I just cut it into fourths. And so I'm going to do a couple more of those. And one more. So mushrooms, depending on how they are grown, can be very high in vitamin D. You want to look for those that are brown. If they've been out in the sun, they are going to be more brown and they're going to have that vitamin D. So here are my mushrooms. I'm going to add them to my pan, which is not hot yet. It'll be hot in a minute. And I like to go kind of low and slow on the mushrooms. We'll see what happens to those in a minute. Next, I'm going to shred my purple cabbage. So I'm just going to cut off a hunk of purple cabbage here. And then I lay it down and then I'm going to go against that spine. See that spine right there? That's pretty thick. I don't know how well you can see it. This purple color tells me it's very high in anthocyanins, which are wonderful for heart health. Cabbage is also a cruciferous vegetable, which is also wonderful for detoxification, the liver, and repairing any oxidative damage or DNA damage. It's just fabulous for us, all the cruciferous vegetables. Purple cabbage is it's kind of thick compared to some of the other cruciferous vegetables. So if you have some tummy troubles eating raw vegetables, you may want to saute it. You could always add it to the mushrooms and saute it with the mushrooms. I'm going to leave mine raw. I do like some raw and some cooked. So there is an enzyme in cruciferous vegetables. I believe it's the marinase enzyme, correct me if I'm wrong, that is responsible for repairing DNA damage, and it is activated when it is raw. So we want to eat it raw when we can. And then the carrots, like I said, when they are raw, they don't spike our blood sugar like they do if they are cooked. So I have carrots here, and I'm just going to shred them. Can you hear my mushrooms sauteing? I'm going to add a little bit more water. And I just want to get them brown. Now, the only thing I'm missing is red and yellow, right? So I could have sliced up some red and yellow bell pepper, or maybe some yellow squash, or I could add some cherry tomatoes on top. You know, something, we want all the colors at every meal whenever we can. And because I want a little bit more green, this is not a part of the recipe that's in the ebook, but I'm going to be adding some spinach to my mushrooms. Okay, the mushrooms are cooking along. I have everything else ready. The rice is cooking, the sauce is ready, my carrots and cabbage are sauteed, and the mushrooms are just getting there. One thing, I do like to flavor mine with a little bit more coconut aminos. It just gives it that nice sweet flavor, so I'm going to drizzle some of that on there. And then I'm going to stir in some spinach. Now, it doesn't have to be spinach. It could be any green you would like, or you could leave the green out. I just think it's important to have greens at every meal. And I save it till the end because they only need a minute to cook. We just want them to wilt. So spinach is high in so many minerals. It's so good for us. Just wilt them. My mouth is watering. How much time is on my rice? A few more minutes. Can you see this? Beautiful. Mushrooms and greens. I could eat just those. Forget the rest, right? So good. Now, the recipe in the ebook includes lentils. Lentils are fabulous. Very, very high in protein and wonderful in fiber. I'm going to turn this off. But for some people, it does spike blood sugar. So you want to watch your quantity. Or you can swap them out for nuts and seeds. And so, like I said, tonight I'm using pumpkin seeds. You could also use any kind of beans, whatever beans suit your fancy. Or some people use just chopped walnuts. That's very high in omega-3s, very anti-inflammatory. So it's just whatever is best for you. I love, love, love pumpkin seeds, and so that's what I am using. Okay, I'm going to let my rice continue to cook. I turned this off, and I'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, I'm adding one more ingredient to our dish, and I think this is in the notes for the recipe as well, and that is an avocado. I just think it's so important to have a healthy fat which with every meal. Now we do have the pumpkin seeds. If we had used the lentils instead of the pumpkin seeds, we wouldn't. Oh my gosh, look, it's perfect. So I'm going to use both. This wonderful green color is very high in chlorophyll. Avocados are also very high in fiber, and they're also a wonderful precursor to glutathione, which is an antioxidant that's specific for the liver. So wonderful for liver health. Also for collagen. So many people are worried that if they don't eat animal products, they don't have those sources. Avocado is a wonderful source. So I'm only going to be using half of the avocado. Did you know you can freeze avocado? So I'm going to take the pit out. Actually, I'm going to cut the other half. Take the pit out, cut it in half, and then I'm going to just freeze this half. I'm going to pull the peel off. Look at that, it just peeled perfectly. So I always peel instead of scraping with the spoon, because that wonderful green color is where most of our nutrients are. We want to make sure that we are getting that green. So I'm going to freeze these, and then it looks like my rice is ready. Okay, also when you freeze avocado, it maintains that green color. It does get a little bit softer than like a nice firm avocado, and so I just save it to use in smoothies and smoothie bowls and to top onto soups and things like that. If I want it raw, like on a salad or tonight's dinner, I would rather just use fresh avocado. Okay, so let me get my plate, and I'm going to put some rice on there. Okay, here is my brown rice. Remember, I don't have anything on it. It was just 1 cup of rice. I had 1 cup of rice and half a cup of rice and 1 cup of water, pardon me, because it's just 2 of us eating dinner tonight. Save him. And then I'm going to top that with my mushrooms and spinach. That spinach just disappears, doesn't it? I love mushrooms. I love them. So I'm going to put them on here. Then I'm going to add my carrots. And my purple cabbage. A little bit more. This might be more purple cabbage than I need. Maybe I didn't put enough rice on there. I don't like a lot of rice. I like the flavor. I like that it has some nice B vitamins, but I don't want it to spike my blood sugar, so I do keep it to a minimum. Okay, so here is our bowl. I forgot the pumpkin seeds, my favorite part. I don't know. It's a tie between that and the mushrooms. Pumpkin seeds are very high in zinc, and to help us get all of that zinc, we want vitamin C. Vitamin C is going to be in that raw avocado and in the raw carrots and that purple cabbage when it's raw. Anyway, here is our bowl here. It looks delicious. The brown rice, the avocado. I added spinach, the mushrooms, the carrots. Oh, and a burst of vitamin C from our sauce. How did I forget that? I could sprinkle some sesame seeds on top. That would be delicious. Or maybe a little drizzle of sesame oil too. Anyway, this will be enough for me. The ginger, the avocado, the brown rice. It smells delicious. I can't wait. I hope you make this recipe. Please download my new ebook, The link is in my bio. Easy to find, absolutely fabulous, delicious. It's a beautiful, beautiful cookbook that I made with my Jen twin, Jennifer Swank. So if you see her, send her a like as well. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and comment. I'd love to hear from you. Enjoy!